I've got a little session for you today, a good all over body workout, a lot of floor today. I just thought I'd let us start down on the mat. So yeah, just hope you enjoy this one. Make sure you do your warm up first. You can do a standing warm up, or I'm going to take you through just a little floor warm up sequence as well. All right, enjoy. So you can do this sitting on a chair if you want to, or you can, as long as you can sit up nice and tall, sit on the floor, legs crossed. We're just going to take ear to the shoulder, inhale, exhale. So we're just going to gradually start moving. And then top section of the back tips over, belly button, spine. If you've got any back issues, just take this one really carefully, really focus on tummy muscles drawing in. Then you can put your hand on the floor to support yourself. Inhale, open, exhale, over. Inhale, open. Just find that lovely lift through the arm. Oh, yes. And then if it feels okay for back, so we're going to start taking that curve forwards. Place the hands onto the floor and walk yourself over to the other side. You can either just stay here if you do have real, any back issues, and just so you can take it easy, or you can have a go opening out the top shoulder again and then curve down, walking through. This should feel lovely if you're in the stage where little ones are still needing to be lifted or held or carried a lot. Hopefully this should feel like a nice release out for the back, and roll the shoulders back. And then we're going to hold onto the knees as we curve. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, inhale, rocking through the pelvis. I just have to close my eyes because it always feels so good. Really think about those tummy muscles drawing through the spine. Roughly 8 of these. Okay, then you're going to keep the curve in the spine, tilt forward, lengthen through the spine and coming up. So we're curving, keep the curve in the spine as you tilt forward, lengthen the back out and lift up. Curve. So you think of this like a wave rolling. Lengthen and up. Curve. So you can get a little bit more fluidity going. And curve. And lift up and then just roll out the shoulders. Have a little roll out the wrists. Have a little stretch, lift up and open. Back, stretch, stretch. Oh gosh, a lot of grinding going on there. Clunk, clunk. And then press and just have a little wriggle out the shoulders, and then turn your hands the other way. So you're just tipping your wrists the other direction, flexing the other way, and just use your fingers to help you get a bit of extra gentle extra stretch. And press the palms together, shoulders back and down, rotating around. Like I say, you can do this on a chair if you're finding it hard to sit up straight for this length of time. Really focus as much as you can on sitting on the bony bits in your bottom, your sitting bones. And back to centre. Roll out the shoulders. Let's just go straight to the knees. You can have a little stretch out of the toes here if that feels okay for you. And then just coming onto all fours. All right, so from here, just roll the shoulders back, belly button lifted up to the spine. We're going to go with the ankle, no, that's the wrist. We're circling around. Little elbow bends. If you want to bring the hips forward into half plank, you can do. Keep the belly button lifted up. Try and find the lift in the pelvic floor. Keep the shoulders drawing down the spine. Four more, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then curve through the catch stretch. Deep breath. And through to cow stretch. Hips and shoulders up to the ceiling, curve into catch stretch. And cow stretch. And then just roll the shoulders out. So just have a little roll of alternating shoulders, side to side. Take that catch stretch again. Hips back to heels. Release. Okay, roll up. Just have a release off the wrists. Little massage. Okay, into Superman. Belly button lifted up to the spine, shoulders back and down, nice long necks. And we're lengthening out right arm, left leg. Belly button lifted up, inhale, lower, change, left arm, right leg. Inhale, exhale. And try and get the hand and knee coming down exactly the same time and taking off at the same time. And then we're going to hold out right arm, left leg next time you're there, holding out right arm, left leg. Holding the position. And we're going to bend from the knee and extend. Bend, inhale, extend, exhale, bend. Try and find a lift in the pelvic floor, keep the tummy lifted. Lower down and changing sides. Left arm, right leg, holding it here first. Tummy muscles lifted up. And we're going to go bend, extend, bend. So we're working into the glutes and the hamstrings with this hamstring curl. And lower, down, curve through catch stretch, deep breath. Hips back to heels into child's pose. Release off the wrist. As ever, just trying to drop the heels down, no, the hips down to the heels. I don't know how many times I say that and I still say the wrong part of the body. Head down. Deep breaths. Okay, we're going to come forward again. Shoulders back and down for threading the needle. So threading the needle, opening. Inhale as you open, and you can either feed the arm through with a straight supporting arm, but I say straight, but still with a little tiny bit of bend, a little bit of softness. Or opening and bending the elbow on the supporting side down to the mat. But try not to take the hips back here. You want to keep the head tipping down towards the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale. So you can do 4, 2, 6 on one side. And when you've counted, or when you've done enough on one side, change over. I mean, obviously we're aiming for 6, right? Inhale. Okay. So you're aiming to keep that spine nice and straight, whichever version you're doing. We're not curving through. We're keeping the length in the spine, spiraling through. Inhale, belly button spine. Exhale, feet through. And when you've done your 4, 2, 6, okay, we're going to come back through the cat stretch. And release back down into child's pose. Well done. So let's do a little thread in the needle type stretch here. So keep one hand on the mat and feed the other arm underneath. Trying to get the outside of the underneath shoulder down to the floor. Still trying to get hips down to the heels. And reach the fingertips away of the straight arm. Deep breath. Take your time for those deep breaths because you'll feel the stretch increasing as you breathe in. Changing size. And back to center, rolling up. Roll out the shoulders. Okay, and coming onto the tummy. Elbows nice and wide here. So we've got this cactus kind of like position with our arms. So our elbows are nice and wide. Our shoulders are released down to the floor. Forehead focused down towards the mat. Tummy muscles are lifted up as much as you can, and the pubic bone is just pressing gently down into the mat. So you've just got a bit of a tilt in the pelvis to help keep the spine more in neutral alignment. So breathing in and then lengthening through the spine, lengthening up. Inhale, lower. So my shoulders are just coming a little way off the floor here. It's not high. Focusing down to the mat. So we're not lifting up through the head either. You want to try and keep the spine into the neck in one long line rather than breaking the line of the spine. You're just lifting up through the shoulders. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. There should be no pain or pinching when you're doing this. If there is any pain or twinging, just release off and just rest your head on your hands. Or roll onto your back and have a hug of the knees into the chest. Okay, roughly 8 of those. Resting the head on the hands and have a rock through your hips. Okay. Right, we're going to do the dart. So for this one, we start with our arms by our sides. You want to try and get the forehead down to the mat and release it down. So we're going to break it down. So we're just starting from the first kind of component of the dart. Is the shoulder blades squeezing together, and inhale, release. So nothing else is moving apart from my shoulders at the moment. My forehead is staying resting on the mat. Squeeze back, inhale down. And I've still got my tummy muscles lifted up as much as I can off the floor, and my pubic bone is still pressing down. Squeeze together. Maybe roughly 6 of these. We're really working into the postural muscles for this one. And then we're going to come up a little bit higher. Squeezing shoulder blades together. My hands are on the tops of my thighs, and I'm just going to draw my hands down my legs, but I'm not really coming up again too high. I'm just squeezing down a bit further. Inhale down, exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades and slide the hands a bit further down the legs. Inhale down, exhale, squeeze shoulder blades. Woo. Inhale down, exhale, squeeze. So you should feel the shoulder blades drawing down the spine a little bit more. You can lift your head up a bit higher now. Inhale down, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. And just have another little release off here before we carry on. There's a really simple movement, the dart, but it can be quite intense. Little release off. Okay, so have a look at the dart. We're going to squeeze shoulder blades together. Oh, I'll start again. Our toes are touching here, and the heels are flopped out to the side. So there's we're just being conscious of how our legs are released down into, as we're completely relaxed, toes together, heels flopped out to the side, kind of pigeon-toed. So we're breathing in, squeeze shoulder blades together, start drawing the hands down the legs. We are now lifting the chest off the floor, and then we're going to zip down the legs as if we've got a zip going all the way down through the centre of the legs down to the heels, and inhale. Release, exhale, squeeze shoulder blades together, slide the hands down the legs, zip the legs together, and as ever, if this feels too intense, then just keep it to the very early stage of the dart, you know, so just take it to the level that feels right for you. So, breathing in, breathe out, squeeze, slide the hands down the legs, zip the legs together, inhale down. Belly button lifted up. Try finding the lift in the pelvic floor. Inhale down. Exhale, squeeze. Slide the hands down. Inhale down. So you'll feel it's working into your backs now, I'm sure. Definitely in the lower back. Again, if there's any pain, please do just release off. And when you come down to the floor, just try and completely relax down into the floor before you re-engage everything to come up, because then that means the body has to work harder to get up into the dart position. Whoa. And release. Well done. So we've done about 6 repetitions there. Have a little rock. And we're going to take our time to roll on to the back. Hug the knees one by one. Right knee, then left into the chest. Have a little rock. Ah, lovely. This should feel like a really nice stretch after doing the dart. If it feels okay for your back, you can take your head up to the knees. Lower down. And then drop the feet one by one to the mat and stretch through the body. Take those deep breaths. Circle ankles and wrists. Down a bit. Crossing the arms over the chest and bringing the bent down the side. Breathe in, lift up, and breathe out down. Okay. And then we're just going to go for a supine twist, but we're going to gradually roll the knees in towards it. So if you do have back issues, you might want to do this with the feet on the floor. As ever, belly button spine, lower back pressing down into the mat as you pass through middle. There should be no pain. Or you can do this, feet lifted, knees over the hips. Inhale, center, exhale, release. And gradually make that rock bigger from side to side. If you've got your arms out at shoulder height here as well, it should help you to control it better. And then we're going to rest the knees on the floor as you roll your knees towards me next. And you can roll your head in the opposite direction to the legs just to increase the rotation of the spine. Take a deep breath in. Try to keep those shoulders on the floor. So if your shoulders aren't on the mat, that can be your goal, is that each time you breathe out, you're just trying to inch those shoulders closer to the mat. And then we're going to go opening and closing like a book. So that top arm lifts up to the ceiling and closes on the underneath arm. Inhale, open. So this is the same arm as top leg. So if you've got your right leg on top, it's your right arm. And vice versa if you've got your left. There we go. Lovely. Inhale, open, exhale, closed. And then next time your arms open out to the mat, belly button to spine, we're going to roll the knees all the way over to the other side. Feet on or off the floor, again, depending on how your backs are. Feet down if you've got a bit of niggly back issues. Head rolls to face the opposite direction to the knees and take your deep breaths. Trying to drop those shoulders down. And opening and closing like a book. Same arm as top leg. Closing up. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Belly bump spine. Just to protect the lower back. Opening the arms back out. Belly button spine. Bringing the knees back to center. And drop them down. Okay, we're going to roll onto our sides now for some side lying leg lifts. So we've got top hip directly over the underneath hip, top shoulder directly over the underneath shoulder. You want to look down your legs and see just the tops of your thighs and tips of your toes, not too much of your legs so that you're bananaing through the body. And then there's a little press down on the hip. We want to try and release the underneath side of the waist as much as you can. Just take the pressure off the underneath side of the waist. Okay, we're going to go top leg lifting. Inhale down. Belly button spine, exhale, lift. Full deep breaths. You will start feeling it into the hips here. We're working the abductor muscles, the muscles that take the leg away from the center of the body. Inhale down, exhale, lift. Good. All right, now we're going to go with a little pulse of that top leg, pulsing up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you can bear it, circle it round for 4 in one direction, 2, 3, deep breaths, 4, reversing back, 4, 3, keep going a little bit longer, 2, 1, and release. And have a go at dropping that top knee down to the floor. And have a little pound out. Massage out in the hip. You can also hug that knee into the side. That's sometimes a nice little way of releasing off and just having a little wriggle round. You might find that you want to do a different stretch, and that's absolutely fine. Just do whatever you feel your body needs. You can have a go at stretching that leg up. And we're going to do a quad stretch here as well. So top knee at hip height. Try and draw the knee back. So you've got a nice long line down the front of the body. Don't let the knee drop down or lift up too high. Full deep breaths. Should feel like a nice stretch. Okay. Into the clam. Knees forward. You want to be able to draw a line down your spine. We'll use your arm as a guide to meet to your heels. You can try this with your feet lifted. This is how I prefer to do this because it feels more comfortable on the hip, but you might feel more comfortable with the feet drop down. So I've got both feet lifted. It's maybe more comfortable for the hip joint. And we're going to keep those feet lifted and open the knees. And inhale, squeeze the knees together. Exhale, open. So you can see why it's called a clam. Like a little clamshell opening and closing. Keep tummy muscles drawing in. So as ever, with every out breath, imagine the core is powering the movement, powering the leg open. And then that means that with every movement, you're working the core. Roughly 8 of these. And release. Have a little wiggle round. Okay. We're going to go back to the same position. And this time we're going to keep the knees together and lift the top foot. So it may only feel like a small movement, but you're inverting the leg here. Strengthen the muscles in a slightly different way in the hip. Just by changing the focus of the movement. Keep with a deep breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay. Let's roll straight onto our backs for a hip stretch. So that leg that you just had on top stays on top. Roll onto the back. Nice long neck. You can press the knee open here. Ankle of the top leg just above the knee. So this is the leg that's just been on top in our side lying position. Or you can increase the stretch, holding onto the thigh. Really try and relax the shoulders and the neck. And take those full deep breaths. With every out breath, just try and relax more into the movement, into the stretch. If you've got your eyes closed, you should be able to focus on that internal release better. And then we're going to go to a hamstring stretch. Stretching that top leg up to the ceiling. Holding onto the thigh or the calf and not behind the knee. Or if you've got your resistance band nearby, you can put your feet into the band. You can straighten out the underneath leg. Taking those deep breaths. And each time you breathe out, try and draw the leg in closer. Or if the leg isn't completely straight, then just aim to straighten it more with each out breath before you start worrying about drawing the leg in closer. Deep breaths. And release down. Okay, then take your time to roll onto your sides, come up sitting. And we're going to swing the leg round. repeat on the other side. Okay, so once again, just checking top hip is over the underneath hip, top shoulder over the underneath shoulder. Next time your leg comes down, just have that little press down just to release the underneath side of the waist up a little bit. Inhale down. Good. So this is a balance as well. So our core muscles will be working to help to stabilize us, stop us from falling over. If you do feel wobbly though, you can put your hand, try and rest your hand lightly on the mat. Little pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Deep breaths. Circle the leg round for 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse back 4, 3, 2, 1. And drop the knee forward. Have a little pulse out. Well done. Massage. And have that little wriggle round just to release off any lactic acid. Deep breaths. We did the quad stretch here. Gently pressing the hip forward, get that nice long line down the front of the body. Knees at hip height. Belly button, spine. Enjoy the stretch as much as you can. And stretch the leg up if you wanted to, as we did so on the other side. Okay, here we go into the clam. Get that nice long line through the spine down to the feet. Feet lifted and opening. Inhale, close. Exhale, open. Belly button, spine. Core is powering every movement. And release. Okay. And then we went back into position, keeping the knees closed this time, and it's just the top foot lifting, inverting or turning in. Inhale, close, exhale, lift. And 8, and release. Roll onto your back for the hip stretch, which your hips are probably screaming out for now. Stretch me out. So ankle of that leg that's just been on top, just above the knee of the underneath leg. Lifting off the foot. Deep breaths. Again, closing the eyes just to help you really focus on that release. Each time you're breathing in, feel everything expand. Okay, into the hamstring stretch. Again, calf or thigh, or using the band. Focusing on straightening the leg as much as you can before you start thinking about drawing the leg in closer towards you. And straighten out the underneath leg. Relaxing into the stretch as much as you can. Okay, release down. Right, so we're going to do leg lifts. So feet and knees are hip distance apart, feet on the floor, knees to the ceiling, and extending the first leg out. Lower back pressing down into the floor. As you lift the leg up, just start with taking it really slowly so you can continue that stretch into the leg. Inhale down, exhale. You can do this with a band if you want to, but it won't challenge your abdominals as much. So if you do use a band, if you want to go gentle on your tummy, you know, that is the option there. So you're just holding the band as you lift the leg up and down. You can also use a jumper to do that if you don't have a band. Keeping the lower back pressing down into the floor. I'll just show you what it's like with the band. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And if you wanted to increase the challenge, you could have a go at lifting the heel of the static, non-moving leg. Always focusing on that lower back pressing down, belly button dropping down. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Oh yes. Feel the difference when the band is taken away. And as ever, the slower you go, the more control is required through the tummy. And the more we challenge the abdominals. And this is a really good one if you have struggled with the diastasis recti and you want to try and gently knit those abs back together. Okay, have a little wriggle round that leg. Taking the leg back up, we're going to go with circles round, keeping the hips and pelvis as stable as possible. Trying to keep the neck long. And reverse back. Circling round. Oh, release. Have a little massage into the hip. That leg that's just been lifted. Have a wriggle round. Okay. Other leg. Lengthening up. Inhale down. Lower back pressing down into the mat. Belly button dropping down. And again, lifting the heel up on the static non-moving side is the option here to increase the challenge on the abs. Or you can use your band if you want to just take it a bit easier. Inhale down. Exhale. Keep focusing on that lower back pressing down. Inhale down. Exhale. Okay. Have a little wriggle. Leg back up to the ceiling, circling round in one direction. River. Hug the knees in. And you may find now that a little circle of the knees in opposite directions helps to release out the hips and the lower back. Deep breaths. Reversing back. And we're dropping the feet one by one to the floor. Stretch through the body. Point the toes. Take a deep breath in and stretch as much as you can. Breath in, stretch, stretch, stretch. Breathing in, breathing in. And release. Oh, it feels good. Okay. We're now going to do a little bit of dead bug. So arms up to the ceiling, just to get the arm coordination. One arm up, one arm down. And all the while, focused, breathing in, and just before the out breath, lifting up in the pelvic floor, belly button spine. So even this on its own becomes an exercise about working the core, even though we're just working the arms. You're still using muscles across the front of the body to control the arm movement, to work into the shoulders, and to work the pelvic floor and core. And then we're going to introduce a knee lift. So as the right arm goes up, the left knee lifts, inhale center, left arm up, right knee lifts. And there's the option to keep the heels lifted as you tap the toes down rather than placing the full foot down. And again, it challenges the abs a little bit more. Inhale center, exhale lift. If you wanted to, you could stretch the leg out. Still with the lower back pressing down into the mat. So my leg is just coming to the 45-degree angle here. If you go up too high, it's not really a challenge on the abdominals. If you go too low, you risk the lower back lifting off the mat. So you want to keep focusing on lower back pressing down. And with the leg at the 45-degree angle, that's easier to control. Okay, and release. Hug the knees in. Take your rock. Circle the knees round. Reverse back. Stretch through the body. Circle the ankles and wrists. Cross the arms over the body. And inhale, cross. Okay. Right, we're going to go with some bridge. So bring in the heels closer into the bottom, feet and knees hip distance apart. Press the lower back down. And let's take that from the lift in the pelvic floor, which in turn helps us zip the tummy muscles in towards the spine and press the lower back down. And then you can either just take it a little way off the floor. Inhale lower if you've got any back issues and you just want to take it easy. Or if backs feel okay, you can go up a little bit higher. Inhale down. And you could just take it a little higher each time, so you're not going to the full height straight away. But I really want you to focus on getting the lower back touching down before the tailbone. Inhale, release. So it's starting from that pelvic rock, the tilt back of the pelvis, and then we go up a bit higher if you want to. Inhale. Exhale, press the lower back down, zip. Belly button spine, hips higher. Inhale down, and maybe on the next one we're going full height. Squeezing up and peeling back down. And then the next one, we're going to hold. If you want to, you can draw shoulder blades towards each other just to get a bit of extra height. Deep breath in. If it gets too much at any point, please do take your time to roll back down, peel back down to the floor. But if you're okay, holding it for a bit longer, belly button spine. Full deep breaths. Try and find the lift in the pelvic floor. Start feeling it working into your glutes, muscles in the bottom. Squeeze up a bit higher if you can. Deep breath in. And peeling back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And release. Shake off the legs. Hug the knees in, circle the knees in opposite directions. You might also like a little extra hip stretch here, so soles of the feet together. Have a go at using the elbows to press the knees open. Or the other option is to take hold of the feet and lift the feet up to the ceiling. They call this happy baby in yoga. Just have a little gentle rock. It's a really lovely release out for the hips. If that feels too much, like I say, just make it your own stretch. Deep breaths. And drop the feet, stretch through the body. Deep breath. Oh, it feels so good. Circle the ankles and wrists. Okay, take your time to roll onto your side, to come up sitting. Okay, soles of the feet together, all cross legs. I'm going to roll down. Deep breaths. You can have a go here at taking the ear to the shoulder, and then if you're feeling adventurous, head to the knee. Just use that opposite knee, trust that it's going to help counterbalance you so you're not going to topple over. Inhale, center. Other side, ear to the shoulder, and then head to the knee as the option. And then we're going to tilt forwards. Stretch the legs out. Rolling up. We're going to do the saw, so feet wide. Shoulders back and down. Rotating. Deep breath, belly button spine, lengthening down the leg. Make sure the other hip doesn't lift off the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Belly button spine. Exhale. And then shinny the legs together. Roll the shoulders back. Fingertips pinning behind you. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Deep breath. And breathe out. Release. There we go. Well done. Thanks for joining in, and make sure you drink your water. Have a good day.